The Sustainable Development Goals represent a fundamental paradigm shift and acknowledges the role of private sector in the transformation of people's lives, both economically and socially through various ways, including improved health outcomes. Kenya has made great strides towards improving the health of its citizenry over the past decade. Healthcare market is set to grow to USD 65 billion in the next 10 years in Kenya. These are opportunities open to private investment.
That ideology of giving and government supporting that giving. When you ask the government, they will say, oh yes, we support. But support means with a lot of voice. Because the government alone cannot do it. The question is, how can we change this ideology? It's a paradigm. But if we can get the private sector, not only the corporate, but the foundations, communities, each one of them start thinking that beyond their own getting together and having a program for themselves, there is a basic responsibility.
We need to establish, and I think the latest development shows that, the trust between donors and governments. We need to re-establish trust through the entire healthcare ecosystem. We need to be transparent in whatever we do.
When we started with Ian Clark in Uganda, when we launched this with the EAC in place, we really didn't know where we were going because many of us who run facilities, run insurance, distributors, businesses in our own countries, found that the market in each country was too small. And it was a question of why, when you start a hospital or a manufacturing or a clinic or a diagnostic facility, where is your growth? And the growth was going to be obvious. It has to be when we have a market of 5, 6, 7 countries. That was the main thrust of how we started the movement of East Africa Healthcare Federation, which was witnessed by EAC officials from Arusha.
Remember the 4 cardinal principles of partnership. Number 1, ownership. The private sector, you cannot be in these countries and not feel and work like owners of the country. 2 is alignment. Your activities must be aligned with the country policies and country programs. 3 is results. Work on results. It can't just be that you are busy, but people don't see the difference. And final is a mutual accountability.
One of the things that I think that Eahf should be doing is to highlight the opportunities of being together, of coming together, and leverage what we can do across the region.
There is a beautiful system for the pharmaceutical sector, which is the Pharmaceutical Regulatory Information Management System, where you actually use an online registration process.
Like in the EAC, we have the East African Common Market Protocol, which provide for the free movement of capitals. But what needs to be done is to harmonize the laws and the regulatory environment in different countries.
The whole thing, lies, on bringing opportunity for consumers, or choices for our consumers.
Like in Juba alone, we have 4 hospitals, and we have 15 private clinics with a population of almost 1 million or 2 million.
What are the 2 or 3 things that you have learned that, if taken into account, could make it possible for our governance and manage performance to go up?
We really need to have the appropriate governance structures, governance frameworks available and in use. We need to be accountable.
One of the things we need to do is to have the right people with the right skills in the right places. Then two, try to empower the people we work with at various levels so that they're able to be innovative and make decisions timely.
In reducing corruption, what can we recommend from this conference?
A lot of the people in the private health sector, they're not corrupt because they're there because they want to make a difference. We could work more meaningfully together with government. We could fill a lot more of the gaps.